Okay, I wanted to quickly go over some red flags that you need to look for when you're trying to help your OCD journey, or we're trying to go through your OCD journey. These are things that are often said to you from experts that are in the field that are not backed up by data, by science, by all the research. Okay, so it's important that you look for these things. And if you do, stay away. These are not things you need to look for. Okay, and unfortunately, most of these happened to me with the first therapist I went to. So luckily, I'm able to help you learn firsthand what to look for. Okay, the first thing is if people say that there's no way to get over OCD. To get over, many people think, because back in the 60s and 70s, OCD was kind of looked at as this unmanageable disorder. That's just wrong. It's now shown to be something that you can manage and recover from. And some people are able to kind of get over it without having any more symptoms, which is going to lead us to another red flag. But when they say there's no way to get over this, you're going to have that forever, red flag. The second one, this was told to me, medication is the only way. Red flag. That is wrong. Now, that was something that was thought to be when there was no way to get over your OCD. People thought, well, we can just medicate and wait and see if that's the way to get over it. That's wrong. That's not what the data shows. In fact, when you're kind of looking at the data, therapy alone usually is better than medication alone. Now, therapy and medication together oftentimes is kind of the gold standard. But if someone tells you medication alone is the only way, that is a red flag. That was actually told to me by the first psychologist that I met with. Now, that kind of theory was blown out of the water years and years and years ago. Okay, it is just not true. It is not what the science says, not what the book, it's not what any of the research says. So if they say there is no way to get over OCD, red flag. If they say medication is the only way, red flag. A lot of the times too, you'll have people do something like rubber bands. Now, what does that mean? Unfortunately, this is very common. People will say, just have a rubber band and snap it every time you have a bad thought to snap your way out of the thought. That is a red flag. If someone tells you to do that, run away. That has never been shown to help OCD. Rubber bands are wrong when it comes to OCD. Okay? You cannot do those things and expect to have that get you over your OCD. Another red flag, this is going to sound kind of odd, it goes against it, is if someone tells you, I have the cure for OCD, right? Now, this seems contradictory, but it's really not. I've seen a lot of, especially one person in particular that I'm thinking of, comment below if you know what her name is online, well, they'll say that you can cure it. Now, here's the thing, everybody is different and everybody has their own issues and their own comorbidities, right? Maybe you have OCD and you have some form of autism or Asperger's, ADHD or whatever the case is. It's just incorrect to say that there's a cure. Now, can you potentially get to a point where OCD doesn't bother you at all? Yeah, you can. But I would argue that some people might always have little idiosyncrasies that they have to deal with. So if you ever hear someone say, I have the cure, that is wrong. And some will tell you that. Now again, saying that you have a system like exposure and response prevention therapy, ICBT, ACT, that has been shown to help, or for some, medication is important, that's different. But cure means it's going to go away all at once. Right? That's not good. So that's another red flag. Let's go back up. Let's go back up again and have some other red flag comments that you look for. Another thing that I've said, that I've heard people say is replace a bad thought with a good thought. Wrong. Don't do that. Replacing a bad thought with a good thought in the context of OCD is a compulsion. Okay? Now that doesn't mean that you need to sit there and think about that bad thought all day, but what it does mean is if a therapist tells you to do that, run away. That is wrong. Another one I've seen, Pretend that something's on your shoulder and throw it away. Yes, you know, that is wrong. If you're throwing your thought away, guess what? What you resist will persist, right? The harder you try not to think about something and to throw it away, the more emphasis you're putting on it, and it comes back even harder. Okay, so if someone tells you to do that, throw it away. You know what you throw away? Throw them away, because they're not somebody that you need to talk to. When someone says just distract yourself, that's wrong too. Now, it's the context of why you're doing things. So if you are saying, look, I'm having this bad thought right now, but I'm going to keep doing my YouTube video, or I'm having this bad thought and I'm going to keep working out. That's different. You're working with it, right? It's there and you're just refocusing. But saying you have to distract yourself right away, I got to distract myself, that is wrong. The person probably does not understand OCD, because distraction can, is, and will become a compulsion. Okay? Whenever somebody says something like that, unfortunately, they're just incorrect. If somebody tells you that you have to be perfect, again, I'm going back to the person that cured my OCD, comment below what she would do. If you have to go through all day from start to finish and basically be perfect and really follow what compulsions you're doing throughout the day for 8 hours a day, and the next day look at it and make sure that you go down, and then you go down from here, and then you're basically starting with 8 hours of compulsions, and then you're following the data and you're concentrating, going down and down. Someone does this, that's just wrong. There's no data behind that. And if you have the data out there, I'm asking you, please publish it. It'd be nice. That's not true, because some people will tell you you have to be perfect with doing compulsions. You have to make sure that you're constantly going from hour to hour, and the next hour only doing 4, and the next hour doing 2, and the next hour doing 1, and the next hour doing none. And that's just wrong. I would argue that if you're following your compulsions that closely, that could be a compulsion. Okay, so that's going to be a red flag. A couple other kind of red flags that I would say I've heard too is yell your thoughts away. My therapist first told me to run away. If you have it, just run from it, just throw it, just kick it out of your head. That's going to be a red flag. Now, I'm assuming there's other red flags out there. If I miss any, please comment them below. But these are the big red flags that I have seen for people. And if anybody does this, unless maybe they accidentally slip up, you know what you do? You yell, you distract, you throw, you replace them with a different person. As always, everybody, stay strong.